right, class, so now we have our linoleum block in the size that we need it, and the next thing we're going to do is tone the surface of this block. That way, when we carve into that surface, there'll be a stronger contrast between the top of the block and the marks that you're making. It makes it a lot easier for you to see what you're doing before you finish the process. So, we'll show you two methods. The first method will be using ink, Sumi ink, India ink, whatever ink you have around. But there are many other materials that you can use, including Sharpies or even pencil, though it makes a lot more of a mess, spray paint. You can think through creatively once you see this video. There are many methods. So, before I start inking or doing anything on this table, I'm gonna lay some newsprint down. The Sumi ink has a pretty strong pigment, and it will dye your clothes and other surfaces, though depending on the surface it may come out better on some surfaces than on others. I've got my plate on my newsprint. I'm gonna put my inking surface and brush on the newsprint, and I have a cup of water, just regular old tap water. I'm just gonna pour a little onto my plate. And it's clear on clear, but okay, so you just open your ink up, and a little bit goes a long way. We don't need it to be, as I said, super dark. And we'll layer, look, I'm trying to go really slow. Even that was like 2 drops. That's enough. I'm gonna close the lid on that so I don't spill. And I'll just gently mix that water, and ink together so it gets to a good even level. And you can use whatever brushes you have on hand. I like these brushes because they're wide, and so you don't have to, you don't get as many streaks this way. And you just take your brush. I might need a little bit more pigment. But once that dries, you can build up another layer of ink and get that toned surface. Okay, so in a second I'm going to use a hairdryer to dry this, and you can too, or you can just put it out in the sun. But while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to take this Sharpie, and on the other half, I'll just show you a pretty clear, pretty easy strategy. And this is creating both quite a smell compared to the Sumi ink and a really dark surface. And so if you have a marker like this, a permanent type marker, that's a pretty quick and smooth way to get that contrast, the very high contrast in those surfaces.